Maine's bioscience industry has gone into overdrive during the pandemic, creating tests, swabs, and research and development behind the scenes.
A federal agency is responsible for funding many similar critical projects across the country. News Center Maine's David Guilford breaks down how Maine fits into the picture over the past year.
So I look at bioscience as sort of a seed that's been planted here.
Agnieszka Carpenter is excited about the future of Maine's bioscience industry.
I think the pandemic has really shown Maine on the map, and the reputation of Maine's bioscience sector has really been raised.
Carpenter is the executive director of the Bioscience Association of Maine, which represents 230 institutions across the state. Many of those compete for funding from the National Institutes of Health.
NIH is the single largest funder of research at the lab.
Ken Fassman is Senior Vice President for Research at the Jackson Lab. NIH recently released its funding totals for 2021, reporting $109 million granted to Maine institutions. Of the top 5 NIH benefactors in Maine, none came close to Jack's, raking in $74 million alone. Fassman said the lab went into overdrive on COVID research the last 2 years.
And that's on top of the work that we do routinely in cancer, in neurological diseases, in immunological diseases. So we put COVID on top of all of our other priorities. And so that in part was why we had a banner year in terms of funding in 21.
Jack's is part of BioMaine as well, but Carpenter insists the funding boost for the lab and her other members is not due to COVID alone. Over the past 5 years, she's recorded an 18% growth in jobs across the field, believing her industry's seed is primed for growth.
But we do need to nurture that seed and keep adding more support and more funding to make sure that we're very intentional so that bioscience here can flourish and bring us more jobs and more dollars to the Maine economy.
David Guilford, News Center, Maine.
The NIH reported that its $109 million investment last year supported 1,800 jobs.